You did it at my birthday dinner.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and of course, you already know what this video is going to be about. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, but I need to explain why I am making it. Every single year around Coachella, I'm reminded of the bi-sister scandal because of obvious reasons, but this year, James actually kind of addressed it in a TikTok after the festival. Basically, he explained why he isn't loving his experience there anymore, but he said that he does not get sent by brands anymore ever since that Sugar Bear hair brand deal gone completely and horribly and terribly wrong.
Now, the last time that I accepted a brand deal at Coachella was Sugar Bear hair, and we all saw how that went.
We will get into all of that later, but then I saw a lot of people in the comment section and just on TikTok in general asking, what's the Sugar Bear hair situation? What is the bi-sister scandal? And I gasped. First of all, it made me feel ancient, but second of all, as someone who's been on the internet for a while and just so chronically online, I need this to not become lost media because it is one of the biggest internet feuds of all time, and I feel the need to talk about it like pretty frequently, especially because of the moments that came out of it.
You did it at my birthday dinner.
So without further ado, let's just get into it, because if you've been on the internet for a while, you know exactly what happened, but I'm going to make sure you guys know all of the details after this video. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, buckle in, because this is about to be the craziest 30 minutes of your life when you hear all of the ins and outs of this internet feud that really took over not only the pop culture news landscape in 2019, but it even started being talked about in the mainstream media. I truly have such a hard time even knowing where to start with this video, but let me just set the scene. Our main players, of course, James Charles, the biggest beauty guru on the internet at that moment. He was just 20 at the time, had over 16 million YouTube subscribers, and was the most known makeup artist on YouTube. Of course, there were a lot of legacy makeup artists, people like Jeffree Star, Jaclyn Hill, the OG beauty gurus, but James was kind of starting this new wave of creators in this space, and he was everywhere. He was also best friends with Tati Westbrook, one of those OGs who really took James under her wing when he would come to Los Angeles. She was kind of a mother figure to him, and he even did her makeup at her wedding in Hawaii. It's also very important to note that Tati Westbrook launched a vitamin company called Halo Beauty a year prior in 2018. And now that we know the two main players, let's get into the drama, because on April 22nd, 2019, all hell started to break loose. James posted an Instagram story promoting Sugar Bear hair, which was a direct competitor to Tati's Halo Beauty.
Give a quick shout out to Sugar Bear hair. I met their team weekend one at Coachella, and they really helped me and my friends out with sister security because it was crazy. You guys probably already know about their iconic hair vitamins, but they just came out with brand new vegan sleep vitamins, and first of all, they taste so bomb, but most importantly, I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety recently, and it always comes late at night when I'm laying in bed thinking, which is not fun or fresh. So I've been taking these 30 minutes before bed, and they've been really helping. So if you guys want to check them out, you can swipe up.
Later that same day, Tati posted a very teary-eyed Instagram story where she says that she was betrayed by someone very close to her, pretty much alluding that James Charles doing that brand deal was super shady and extremely hurtful, but she never actually named him.
Having a crappy day, raise your hand right now. I just wanted to hop on. I don't even really know why. I never get in these moods to just like vent or do a rant or anything like that, but I'm literally sitting here in my studio like I can't film, and this never happens to me where I feel like I'm here, I know what I should be doing, I should be working, I should film, and I just can't because I'm stressed out and I feel really lost, and I feel in my community especially like I feel really lonely. You know, friends should support one another. That's how it should be. And when you do so much for people in your life and they not only don't return the favor, but they just don't even see you, like I get it. I fucking get it. I'm just so upset.
However, fans were very quick to figure out who she was talking about. After James saw Tati's Instagram story, he posted a black screen saying sorry, explaining he only posted the video in exchange for artist passes at Coachella because he was having security issues just having VIP. He explained he felt really unsafe, and the only way for him to enjoy the rest of his time in the desert was to get those artist passes, and Sugar Bear Hair was the only brand that could do it on such short notice. May 4th rolls around. It seems like everything is kind of settled until Gabriel Zamora, another beauty guru on YouTube, posts a video titled Makeup and Opinions, where basically he challenged Tati to publicly explain what she was talking about in that Instagram story because she made it out to seem like James was a horrible human being, and he basically asked her to clarify what she meant so people would stop attacking James, because apparently he was getting a lot of hate from the story, even though he apologized and it seemed like him and Tati were fine up until the rest of the story, of course. It didn't take long for Tati to follow through though, because on May 10th, 2019, Tati Westbrook dropped Bye Sister, a 40-minute expose on James Charles that really shook the internet to its core. I remember exactly where I was, and I know that sounds so stupid, but like my friends and I were home from college on summer break. We saw that video, immediately ran to sit down, get snacks, and watch it because it was juicy. Like the way you truly had to be there, we treated it like a movie premiere, like I'm not kidding. And in this video, Tati does more than just publicly clarify the situation. She dives into pretty much all of the reasons why James Charles is horrible. She questions whether the real reason James did that deal was actually because of security or for some other reason like to backstab her. She calls him a predator because of his pattern of pursuing straight men, and provides personal accounts of situations where she's seen him do that and it's made the other party and her feel extremely uncomfortable. Of course, this is where we get sucking dick and cock. Like, oh my God, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner. Like
Like, it was just like, no big deal. Like, sucking dick and cock. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, time and place. And you did it at my birthday dinner. And I made excuses for you then. You were talking in detail about things you wanted to do to the waiter. And when I said, James, he's straight, your response was, doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity. So freaking gross. And you said that in front of my family.
I'm so sorry. That is the longest lasting thing we got out of Bye Sister. And I'm not complaining about that. This was a scathing expose of James Charles. It was not just a, I felt hurt and here's why. It's a, James Charles, the person that you guys have been standing, is horrible because of XYZ. And this message seemed to really resonate with the internet community because it saw James lose the most subscribers in YouTube history in 24 hours. People literally were on that website watching his sub count plummet after Tati press post. Like, this shook the internet. Twitter was going crazy, YouTube was going crazy. This was absolutely wild. And at the same time, Tati's channel started to grow exponentially. Some excerpts from this video included, I'm just gonna read them so I don't actually mince Tati's words. Get off your high horse and have some respect. You don't have any for the people who are in this industry, and that's the sad fact. She also calls bullshit on the authenticity of James's first apology, saying when you can't have any emotion for the other person who loves you so much and all you're caring about is your image, I'm not okay with that. And James Charles actually responded pretty quickly. He uploaded an 8-minute video while on a flight to Australia. Literally, Tati published this while James was on like an 18-hour flight. So James pretty much uploaded the first message he could and pressed post and didn't think twice about it, which was, in my opinion, a horrible idea.
I'm currently traveling abroad and just woke up, but I wanted to sit down and make a video addressing everything that's going on right now, because I owe everybody an explanation, but most importantly, I owe two important people an apology.
But he addresses Tati's allegations and apologizes to her and her husband, specifically saying, at this point, the truth does not matter. It's the feelings that do. No matter what happened, I hurt two very, very important people. They've been really, really loyal to me and I betrayed that. It sucks. And I wish more than anything that I could take it back. Let it be known, this was the most disliked video on YouTube in 24 hours. I think it had like 2.5 million dislikes. But in the video, James also maintains the fact that he did have to use Sugar Bear Hair for the artist passes. There was no malicious intent. He just didn't know what else to do at the time besides try to rely on a brand to provide him artist passes. And when it came to the boy situation, this is what he had to say.
I've been involved with a lot of very unique and strange situations that have left people confused or upset. And I've learned the hard way about ways that I can interact with boys that I'm interested in, and also ones that I should or shouldn't be talking to. This is a conversation that I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with, And it's something that I should have been far more careful with bringing into the public eye, especially with the last situation that just happened. I've had to learn it the hard way. But coincidentally enough, Tati really was one of the people to sit me down and tell me how it looked from the outside, and let me know, hey, talking to these boys might get you in trouble one day.
Then things really began to get even messier because other celebrities and YouTubers started to get involved from the outside and insert themselves in this drama to really add fuel to the fire, which the fans and YouTube watchers were already doing on their own social medias. T channels were loving this, posting the back and forth, getting millions and millions of views. But on May 11th, a day later, Zara Larsson got involved by posting a clip of Tati's video and saying, "I'm cackling because he hit up my boyfriend in the DM several times knowing damn well he's straight." And the video that she posted, of course, was one of the clips of Tati talking about how James prays after straight men. On May 12th, Jeffree Star involved himself. Now, Jeffree Star involving himself in something usually means it is not good, and Jeffree had some horrific things to say about James. He started by quoting Ian, James's brother's tweet, and then he really became activated. I'm going to read these tweets because they are still up. "There is a reason Nathan banned James Charles from ever coming over to our home again. There is a reason why I haven't seen him since Tati's birthday in February. He is a danger to society. Everything Tati said is 100%. On May 13th, Nikita Dragun inserted herself, and actually, she had a different perspective because she was the person who helped James Charles get in contact with Sugar Bear Hair. So honestly, the information that she's giving actually pertained to this whole bi-sister scandal. I don't blame her for getting involved and trying to stick up for James, but she posts text messages with the Sugar Bear Hair team saying that James was asking for help. Her contact at the brand said, "Oh, like send me his information and we can figure something out." However, fans were really quick to be skeptical of this. They said the timestamps weren't adding up. They were really confused. And it also kind of went against James's original claim saying that Sugar Bear Hair reached out to him, because it clearly seems like in these messages, James is the one initiating this deal to try and get help. And then a day later, Nikita does talk about the timestamps. She says, "These aren't edited. I have screen recordings of the entire chat, and the only thing that I edit is my waist on Facetune." May 15th, James is actually seen for the first time in the Brisbane airport. He is point blank period asked if he has assaulted straight men, and James, of course, just puts his head down and continues to walk forward.
Is Tati correct in what she's been saying? Do you sexually harass straight men, James?
And up until this point, James has gone dark on socials. The only thing that he has done is post that one 8-minute video to YouTube, but other than that, he has not said or posted anything. And then May 16th comes around and Tati decides to post another video doubling down titled "Why I Did It." And again, this week on the internet was insane. So the fact that then Tati came and published another video explaining her reasoning behind the whole thing while everyone is just eating up this drama, like all of the innocent internet bystanders tweeting about it, making tea videos about it, like you really had to be there, because Tati gooped everyone when she was like, "And this is exactly why I decided to make that original video." Her reasoning for posting was she basically said that she wanted to reach someone who was completely unreachable at that time. "It was a last-ditch effort for me to be really loud and vocal to wake someone up that I really loved." She explained this very teary-eyed. She's like, "There's no other way I could reach James Charles. I couldn't do it privately because he wouldn't listen to me. So I had to do it publicly and completely call him out and blindside him to get him to hear what I was saying." Basically saying that he was too big for his britches. He wasn't listening to anyone else. He was full of himself, and the only way to convey any sort of message to him and get through was through exposing him on the internet. And then May 18th, just 2 days later, James uploads his full response video titled "No More Lies." In it, he brings receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots to go claim by claim and try and dismantle everything Tati was saying. Basically, he brings up all of the screenshots with the Sugar Bear Hair situation to prove to Tati that it was a safety thing. Then he says he did not try to trick a straight man at Tati's birthday dinner into sleeping with him. James says that Tati actually encouraged James to try and hook up with this waiter after James expressed interest while he was waiting their table at the birthday dinner. And allegedly the waiter told James that he was bisexual.
Any sexual actions from a guy, that is disgusting. It is not me. And the fact that Tati brought this up blows my mind because she knows the real story. The story that we're talking about here is a situation that happened when I was in Seattle for Tati's surprise party with a boy named Sam.
James also shared some of the pretty nasty things that Jeffree said about him and also texts that he got. Some of the things were saying that he tried to trick Jeffree's boyfriend's older brother into sending him explicit photos. Jeffree also said that James SA'd Grayson Dolan on the internet, and James was responding to that as well.
Grayson is going on camera shortly to finally tell the world how you tried to molest him and touch him in his sleep and made him uncomfortable for months, you sick motherfucker. Next, Zach will be going on camera to tell how twisted and sick you were, trying to get him to like you and then make him feel bad when he didn't want to send you photos back. Then Sam from Seattle will be joining me and Cameron to talk about you trapping him in his hotel room. You need to be locked in prison for a very long time. You need the internet taken away from you. You are a danger to society.
And James basically tries to shut down every single allegation. Jeffree and Tati immediately respond to this video. Jeffree basically goes on Snapchat immediately and says, I am going to show my receipts. He's threatening to expose James way worse.
Will happen, but got a little derailed by Miss James Charles uploading a very manipulative, weird video of just calculation girl. I thought maybe he would take some time off of social media, but nope. Right back to uploading, trying to make me seem like I'm something I'm not, trying to paint my character in a light that's very untrue. A lot of people are, what do we believe? You're gonna know what to believe when I really show you the facts, okay? There's screenshots, there's a lot of things that were not presented correctly. I didn't want to have to do this, but I will have to respond to this, and I will show you guys things that I'm sure he never wanted to come to light, but here we are.
Then he goes onto Twitter and said, everyone keeps asking me for my receipts. I have so much to say and some really sad, disgusting things to show you guys. James Charles tried to mass manipulate you all today. When I show you the proof and why I tweeted that tweet about him, you will finally all understand. Before you believe anything that was said today, remember there are always two sides to every story. Tati also went onto Twitter and said that she was on a digital break at the time, but her family let her know that James uploaded a video and said that she was disappointed to see it was littered with a lot of lies and half-truths. She also said that she stands by her videos. She is not taking back anything, and she is doubling down on the fact that what she did was the correct decision. So of course, the next thing on everyone's mind is Jeffree Star's expose. Jeffree's talking a huge game online. So when he uploads his video the next day, people were sat. They thought that he was about to go in and provide insane proof that debunks everything James says, and he does the exact opposite, which really confused a lot of people. It was a complete 180 from what he was threatening. He pretty much is sitting on his couch and says, I'm not going to add fuel to this fire anymore. I need to stop this right now. I do not want to revert to my old self. I should not have publicly involved myself in something that I wasn't a part of to begin with. And really this shocked everyone because Jeffree Star was not known for stepping away from drama when he was in the middle of it. Tati also decided to post a really long notes app where she says this is the last time she will publicly address the situation. I still have so many things I'd like to clear up. However, the continued call for receipts is nothing more than a call for never-ending bloodshed. As such, I'm setting aside my overwhelming needs to be understood and will continue my conversations with everyone in private. James thanked both of them for their sentiment and not adding fuel to an already insanely large fire, and says that it's now time for him to move on as well. On May 26th, James did cancel his sister's tour. It was supposed to be a pretty big one, and he just cited this entire drama as the reason why. He said he wasn't mentally ready to go out and give himself to a crowd. He knew that it would not be a good show, so he just decided to scrap it entirely. And then on June 18th, after about like a month of a break from posting normal videos, James kind of came back online and posted a Hi Sisters video, not addressing the drama at all, just kind of explaining where he's been, what he's been up to, and what the future of his channel is going to look like. Everything then was really quiet for a while. For the rest of the summer, it seemed like James was back on his regular posting cadence. Tati had moved on, Jeffree had moved on, and it seemed like everything was done. Until September, when Nikita and James did a video with Joey Graceffa. James basically opens up about that time. Joey kind of asked him about it, and James, for the first time, opened up about what it was like behind the scenes, basically saying that he really had to lean on his friends because if not, he would not be here. And that was really dark to hear. I think for a lot of the YouTube audience, it was kind of a shock for them to hear James be so candid about how dark of a place it took him to. He also explained why he didn't talk about the mental health side of things when he came back to YouTube. He said he wasn't looking for sympathy, and no other party actually commented on that video with Joey. But I think it's important because of the fact that James publicly talked about how it affected him in September. And then another few months of nothing. It really was quiet until we start to gear up for Coachella 2020, where James decides to go on the internet and post a little bit of a joke about what had happened last year. On January 3rd, he posted this tweet saying Coachella would be the best this year because of no vitamins or boys, and everyone got the reference. At this point, leading up to Coachella 2020, it seemed like James's career was on the uptick again. He started to regain subscribers, he was posting his normal content, so his fans were kind of liking the fact that he was embracing the joke instead of deciding to continue to shy away from it. And then a few more months of silence until June 30th, 2020, when Tati drops another bombshell video. Breaking my silence was a 40-minute video explaining what had happened behind the scenes ahead of Bai's sister pretty much a year earlier. And in it, she basically claims that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson manipulated her behind the scenes to see that James Charles was a terrible person, and they kind of coerced her into posting that video.
I privated my video at the request of YouTube because YouTube said it was a bad look for their platform. James, I am so sorry that I allowed myself to be poisoned and weaponized against you. I'm sorry that I bought into any of their lies. Believing those lies and allowing myself to be gaslit into making that video is one of the biggest regrets of my life. I should have tried harder to reach you over those concerns in person.
She said Jeffree and Shane were so bitterly jealous of James's success, so they gaslit her into taking him down. Back in 2019, Jeffree started talking a lot more crap about James Charles than usual. It seemed that doing so became his biggest obsession. It started with him telling me right before filming our collab together for James's channel that James didn't actually want me there, that he'd actually wanted Nikki tutorials instead, but Jeffree said he had my back. Things further escalated at my birthday. Every time James's back was turned, Jeffree would tell me that James was out of control. He even texted me and called me the following morning to apologize for James's behavior and how embarrassed he was for me. The weeks went by. Every time I saw or spoke to Jeffree, it seemed to me like James was all he wanted to talk about. He said that James was a monster with many victims. Then Jeffree connected Tati with Shane. Tati went over to Shane's house, and Shane said that James had a ton of victims. He was a terrible person and he needed to be taken down. I will say, I don't want to defend James Charles in any of this because I'm not a James Charles apologist. I do, however, think that it was really weird that people in their mid-30s and early 40s were like actively doing this and conspiring against a 20-year-old on the internet. And that's not me defending James. That's just me saying, like, I think it's really strange that like these people that are like really grown adults and very much cemented in their adulthood were coming after and making this whole behind the scenes plan to take down someone whose prefrontal cortex has not even been developed yet. Like, she basically says that she didn't make her video because of vitamins. She made it because of the poisonous lies that Jeffree and Shane were feeding her, to the point where she just was going to explode if she didn't tell the world. So she's kind of blaming this whole thing on Jeffree and now Shane. She also says that her and James had been meeting privately behind the scenes for a very long time, like months and months, to rework on their friendship and kind of start from zero, and Tati apologized to him in private. They also watched Jeffree and Shane's documentary together, where they included footage of them watching Bai's sister in real time and commenting on it. And that's when Tati and James started to think, maybe they were kind of behind this, because they started to compare stories. Also, this video was like very PR forward. It was very clearly read through and approved by Tati's lawyers, so that way she couldn't be sued for defamation by Jeffree or Shane. She also ended this video by threatening to release her receipts. And because of Tati's video, we got one of the funniest crash out Instagram lives of all time, because Shane Dawson went on IG Live to stream himself watching Tati's video and just starts screaming at his TV, "She's a liar, she's a liar."
Literally, oh my God. Okay, sorry, keep pressing play. I need to get through this video so I can fucking, oh my God.
As a victim of abuse myself,
Oh my God.
terrifying.
You are so manipulative.
To think of facing public.
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Contact authorities.
Oh my God.
It was not my
Oh my God.
place.
I was molested. I have been, oh my God.
Victim.
That is not,
And I made no mention of it in my video.
oh my God.
Get off.
The night before posting my video by sister,
Oh my God.
I texted Shane sharing my concerns for James Charles
that he was out of the country on the high floor of a hotel, and I was afraid for him.
I actually think about this video very often because it is so funny. But he then also tweeted that Tati was a huge liar and you should believe nothing that she says. And he continued on to post a really long notes app about the fact that he is going to be leaving the beauty community forever after this because it is so toxic and poisonous to be in it. Honestly, the only reason he was in the beauty community to begin with is because he did that conspiracy palette with Jeffree Star, and that was his foray into it. I mean, he tried his eye makeup. We all saw those Snapchat stories, but like he was never part of the beauty community. However, he still felt the need to release a statement saying that he is going to be fully removing himself from it. In July of 2020, James did address the situation for a final time, saying he is done for good talking about it. In the same month, Jeffree released his final video on this saga titled Doing What's Right, where basically he does not mention Tati at all, but he says that he is not some villain in a movie. He apologizes wholeheartedly to James Charles and says that he needs to move on. Since then, of course, they have talked about it in certain things. I mean, Shane Dawson got completely canceled, honestly, after all of this started to happen because of things being brought up from his past, and he stopped posting on socials anyway. Tati kind of went back to just doing her regular beauty lifestyle content, and she doesn't really get involved in anything anymore. And for James, he has made a couple nods to it. Last year, I think James got a birthday cake that said like, and you did it at my birthday dinner on it. And James isn't afraid to, allude to it in jokes. And then Jeffree has talked about it a couple times. He talked about it on the canceled podcast with Tana and Brooke, but he says that he really doesn't want to go in depth about it. He did film an episode of Just Trish with Trisha Paytas, but Trisha decided actually to not air that episode because it was really problematic. And it seemed like they talked about the bi-sister stuff, but she didn't want to put it out and kind of reignite this whole thing. So I kind of applaud her for not releasing it. I'm not a Jeffree Star fan. I'm not a Shane Dawson fan. I'm not a James Charles fan. I'm not doing this to plug any of their stuff. I'm really honestly doing it because this was one of the biggest feuds that has happened on YouTube ever, if not the biggest, because it involved all of these major beauty gurus, and then it also brought in mainstream celebrities, the mainstream media, and I cannot believe we are at a point where people are asking what the sugar bear hair thing is. Like, the sugar bear hair thing is gonna go down in history as one of the most explosive online moments of all time, and that is why I am here to explain it to you. So that is the timeline of everything that happened for bi-sister, and I really hope you guys like this video. I will never get tired of talking about this. I'm so sorry. There are so many little details, and the fact that this entire thing started over hair vitamins is so crazy to me. I don't care that Tati said that she was like manipulated behind the scenes. She's a 40-year-old woman. Like, she can make decisions for herself. She did not have to post that video to begin with. But do I think that the vitamins had something to do with it? Yes, because she was hurt that James Charles did that Sugar Bear hair brand deal. I know she was. Maybe she should have just given him artist passes and bucked up and wrote it off as a business expense if she wanted him to do it so bad. Because I will say, looking back on the situation like years and years later, if my friend was at Coachella and I had a brand and I didn't have enough money to kind of give them an artist pass to do a brand deal for me, would I let them do a brand deal for a competitor just so that way they would stay safe at the festival? Probably yes. Because if I'm an independent brand and I don't have money to pay like 5 to 10 grand for an artist pass, sure, go do a brand deal so you and your friends can have fun at Coachella and not be like mobbed by fans. So I don't know. I really think the entire thing was blown out of proportion, and it is so crazy, all of the things that came out of it. But that's it. That's bi-sister, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have some really exciting things coming on this channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of it. It helps the channel a lot. And it is Met Gala season. That is going to be the focus of my next few videos. I love the Met Gala. It's my Super Bowl. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely stick around for that. And I love you all. Have a great week.
You need to be locked in prison for a very long time.